myth that Beshamai is only lechumra. Have you ever heard like people saying that
Yeah.
Hillel was chosen because he was more mekel?
Well, I don't think they use the word makel. They'll say like it's more connected to the heart. I mean, they'll make it seem like he was the more spiritual one. All right.
Well, if you see it from the mystical perspective, yeah, you can say that. I mean, but you and I, we know that the halacha was chosen by, like, he got the aliba the hilchita because of the votes, not because he was better or not. It was, everybody was voting and he won. That's it.
So I was mentioning this last time that it's only by Amoraim that we go by Hillel over Shammai. I think there was 14.
Wait. We go by everybody. Like every machloket is decided by Amoraim.
In ambiguous ones, you mean? Because at the time of Hillel and Shammai, there wasn't a final din. Like the students of Shammai did this and the students of Hillel did that. You know the story of the Bas Kol?
Yeah. The Bas Kol came and alachake Hillel, loba shamayim, whatever.
So that doesn't appear in the Mishnah.
That's Haggadah. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, but it's Agadah in the Gemara. So only because the characters in this Agadah are Tanaim, we think that it's from Tanaim, but it's a story told over by Amoraim, essentially to paskin how they want to paskin. But if the actual halacha is the Braitot and the Mishnayot, then technically today we could apply, Elu ve'elu. The statement of Elu ve'elu, David Lekim Chaim was talking
applies
about
only to Tanaim, yeah.
Right, but you're specifically talking about Hillel and Shammai, saying that either side, they're both the words of the living God. It was the Amoraim of Bavel who basically hated the Amoraim from Eretz Yisrael and vice versa. There's a share online from this guy from like BRS here who just compared the attacks from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel back and forth, basically saying that the Torah, like in Bavel, you could throw it away and vice versa. This notion that we were in some way in tune and everyone agreed is nonsense.
So you're saying that Rabbi Yochanan had more authority than Abaye and Rava?
What are you talking about? I mean, Abaye and Rava were Amoraim and they didn't have smicha.
Rabbi Yochanan too was the guy in Yerushalayim for the Yerushalmi. He was the one that compiled the Yerushalmi.
I mean, which Rabbi Yochanan?
Rabbi Yochanan, the fat one.
I don't know who the fat one is. You know Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai?
No, not Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan, the other guy, the Amora.
He wasn't an actual Amora. There's a difference on how they establish Amoraim. Some people establish Amoraim like from the end of the Beit Din Hagadol. Then that's the era of their Amoraim. Some people attach it to an actual date, which is why because the Sanhedrin
once we don't have the Sanhedrin, that's it. No, you don't like that position.
What do you mean? Yeah, but that's not how you're explaining it. See, because Smicha was done away with around the same time the Sanhedrin was done away with. So when there was no more Sanhedrin, Smicha was given to a handful of people because it says that the Romans made it illegal to get Smicha. But Rav is only in Bavel.
Right,
but anyway, I don't think there was Smicha.
Rav and Abaye and everything. Yeah, everybody else.
Right, yeah. But they don't have any authority. That's the thing.
No, I mean, more have authority to establish halacha. Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, to sit on the Sanhedrin, you didn't have to have smicha, by the way. There had to be one person with smicha, like on the Beis Din. The understanding is that as long as you had one person with smicha on the Beis Din Gadol, then they could create a halacha. And that's where they get that statement that a Beis Din, and only a Beis Din with greater number and greater wisdom could add or change a halacha. Because it depends on how many people with smicha were actually there to count them as greater number. So, but yeah, supposedly, I mean, you didn't need smicha to be on the actual Beis Din, but you could vote.
Well, yeah.
I'm not saying it makes sense. I'll tell you, well, this for sure is not a science, and I wish it was. And like, all we're doing is theorizing, but I think that this makes a lot more sense than some Lubavitcher who teaches that like the sichas of the Rebbe were given in her Sinai. So,
Okay.
but this is
Okay.
your
That's
friend,
so stupid.
Mr. Litvin. He was
The
that's how
crazy
Litvin
link.
teaches. He's like, and on Mount Sinai they told us that if your mother's Jewish, you're Jewish, which is not true. It says that Rabbi Kiva, like,
Wait, but what does he do with ridiculous nowadays in Judaism how it works?
yeah.
But it is what it is,
No, yeah. So there's people who try to make sense of it and people who don't, and they just sort of go with the flow. Truth is, if you go with the flow, and I don't, like my kid goes to Lubavitch. I mean, I go to Chabad also. I'm not
Wow.
against that. I mean, I clearly understand.
This is a closer? Is a closer one?
Who?
Chabad is a closer religion to Judaism.
Right. It was Rav Shach.
Yeah. Yeah, he hates me. Litvin hates me because I said that.
I've been trying to get him to debate me with this guy Litvin because he's really, really made he's really insults me.
The problem with Chabadnikim is that there is a famous story. There's a famous story with the Brisker Rebbe. The Brisker Rebbe sent Rav Yosef Soloveitchik, the YU guy.
Yeah, the Rav.
He sent it to a Chabadnik guy so he can learn Gemara. So Rav Chaim called him. This is in his biography, in Rav Chaim biography. So he called him like, "Oh, bring me my grandson. I want to test him to see how he's learning." So he started asking him like, Masechet Eruvin, this, and the guy doesn't know anything. We're talking here about a guy of 8 years old, something like that. So he doesn't know anything. So Rav Chaim goes crazy, like, what the heck is going on here? So Rav Moshe also goes crazy, like, oh my gosh. Because, the Soloveitchik, you only have two options. Or you are very smart, like the most genius guy, or the most dumb guy in the world. Or crazy, or something like that. So happens to be that the guy was only learning Tanya. So Rav Chaim started asking him about the Tanya, and he knew everything about the Tanya. So Rav Chaim told Rav Moshe, like, stop sending this guy there. Enough is enough. So that's what they learn, Tanya, and they say that they learn Rambam, but they don't know anything about the Rambam.
Yeah, well, not funny. No, because they made famous Mishnah Torah Yomi, but hashkafically, they disagree with the Rambam on everything. I mean, the Rambam was he wasn't into Nister, right? He was like a Nigler rabbi.
Yeah, but what is the point of learning something that you don't practice?
They go by the Rambam, not regarding Mashiach, by the way.
They don't care also about Minyan?
You mean the Zman?